In a peaceful valley surrounded by mountains, morning light glows softly over a small farm. One day, a farmer finds a strange, oversized egg near his chicken coop. Curious, he places it among his hens, never realizing it belongs to an eagle. Days later, the egg hatches, and a bright-eyed eaglet named Eddie is born among chickens. Eddie grows up learning their ways, scratching the ground, eating corn, hiding from the rain. Though his wings are larger and stronger, he never questions why he's different. Sometimes he looks up and watches the eagles flying high above, his heart whispering, "They fly so high, but I'm just a chicken." He believes it because everyone around him says so. The other chickens tell him, "Stay here, Eddie. The sky isn't for us." So he stops dreaming, stops trying, and lives inside a small world of fences and habits. The valley becomes his cage, not made of wire, but of belief. And then a voice, gentle but firm, reminds us, sometimes the cage isn't made of walls. It's made of words, the ones we tell ourselves. How many of us live like Eddie? How often do we mistake comfort for purpose or safety for peace? The story has only begun, but soon, one moment will awaken Eddie's true nature and remind us all that we were never meant to crawl when we were born to fly. It was a quiet afternoon, the kind where the air feels heavy and time seems to slow. Eddie pecked at the ground beside the other chickens, lost in the rhythm of another ordinary day. Then suddenly, the sunlight dimmed. A great shadow swept across the field. The chickens panicked and scattered, feathers flying everywhere. But Eddie froze, his eyes lifting toward the sky. Through the golden haze, a majestic eagle descended, wings wide and powerful, each feather glinting like bronze in the sun. His name was Arthur, an elder of the mountains. When he landed, the earth itself seemed to hush. His eyes, sharp yet kind, fell upon Eddie, and in that gaze was recognition. He stepped closer and asked, his voice deep and calm, "Why are you here among the chickens?" Eddie blinked, confused, his heart thudding in his chest. "Because I am one of them." The words felt heavy, even as he said them. Arthur tilted his head, a faint smile forming, gentle, almost sorrowful. "No, young one," he said. "You are no chicken. You are an eagle, born to fly above the clouds, not scratch the earth." Eddie's breath caught. The world seemed to spin. An eagle? Me? The thought was too big, too impossible. His feathers trembled, his voice unsteady. But I've never flown before. I don't know how Arthur's eyes softened. He stepped closer, the wind ruffling his feathers like an old friend. "It's not what you've done that defines you, Eddie," he said, his voice carrying the quiet power of truth, "but what you're capable of." And for a moment, everything was still. The air, the farm, even Eddie's heartbeat. Those words hung in the sky like thunder before a storm, echoing in his soul, stirring something long asleep. Deep inside, a spark flickered, fragile, uncertain, but alive. The first whisper of destiny. The next morning, Arthur leads Eddie away from the coop, past the fields, and up a winding trail that climbs toward the mountains. Each step feels heavier than the last. The world he has always known, the farm, the chickens, the safety of routine, grows smaller behind him. Ahead, lies something vast and wild, the edge of a towering cliff. From there, the valley stretches endlessly below, and above, the open sky glows in waves of blue and gold. The wind roars past his feathers, cold and untamed, whispering promises of freedom and fear all at once. Eddie stares down, trembling. His claws grip the stone. The ground feels safe. The sky feels impossible. "I can't do this," he says, voice cracking. Arthur stands beside him, calm and steady, his wings spread wide. "You were made for this," he says, eyes locked on Eddie's. "Trust yourself." The words cut through the storm inside him. The old eagle doesn't push, doesn't plead. He simply believes. And somehow, that belief feels like a bridge across the fear. Eddie's heart pounds. Every instinct screams to stay where he is. But deep inside, something older than fear, a memory of who he truly is, begins to stir. With a trembling breath, Eddie spreads his wings. The wind catches them like an invitation. He hesitates, then steps forward and leaps. For a single heartbeat, terror consumes him. The air rushes past. The world spins. He flaps wildly, screaming, certain he will fall. But then, silence. The panic fades. The wind no longer fights him. It holds him. His wings stretch wide, strong and alive. He feels the air lift him, carry him. The ground disappears, and the sky opens up like a dream long forgotten. He rises higher, higher still, every beat of his wings shedding the weight of his old life. The fear becomes exhilaration, and the doubt turns into power. The sun warms his feathers, the mountains echo his cry, and in that soaring moment, the narrator's voice returns, gentle, timeless, true. And in that single breath between fear and faith, he remembered who he was. The air is alive with light. Eddie soars beside Arthur, the mountains gleaming beneath them like ancient guardians. The wind rushes past his feathers, cool and wild, singing a song he's never heard before, the song of freedom. For the first time in his life, he isn't looking up at the sky. He's part of it. His wings stretch wide, steady and strong, cutting through the air with effortless grace. The fear that once chained him has melted away into pure exhilaration. Tears blur his vision, not of sorrow, but of wonder, joy, and recognition. He laughs, a sound carried by the wind across the open sky. "I can fly!" he cries out, voice breaking with awe. "I can really fly!" Arthur glides beside him, smiling with quiet pride. "Yes, Eddie," he says, "you always could. You just needed to believe." The words sink deep into Eddie's heart. He realizes it was never the sky that was out of reach. It was his own belief that kept him grounded. As they circle high above the valley, Eddie looks down. The chicken coop is just a tiny dot now. The world he once thought was everything. The chickens move below, pecking the same ground, unaware of the vast heavens above them. He feels no anger, no regret, only gratitude. That life taught him humility, but this moment teaches him truth. He no longer belongs to the earth. He belongs to the wind. Freedom isn't something he found. It's something that found him, the moment he dared to leap. Up here, surrounded by clouds and light, Eddie finally understands. The sky was never the limit. It was always his home. As the sun dips behind the mountains, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson, Eddie glides effortlessly beside Arthur, their shadows stretching long across the valley below. The world feels vast, boundless, alive, yet peaceful. The story doesn't end with flight. It ends with awakening. Because this is not just Eddie's story. It's a reflection of all of us. Each one of us carries wings we've forgotten, dreams we've buried beneath fear, and heights we've convinced ourselves we're not meant to reach. Somewhere along the way, we stopped believing in the sky that once called our name. Eddie's journey reminds us that no matter how long we've lived in the coop of comfort or doubt, the eagle within us still waits. Patient, silent, powerful. Don't let the voices around you convince you that you're meant to crawl when your soul knows how to soar. Don't let your past define your horizon, or the mistakes of yesterday decide how high you'll fly tomorrow. Your circumstances may shape you, but they do not own you. The moment you choose courage over comfort, the wind of change will rise beneath your wings. And now, as the music swells and the sky deepens into twilight, the narrator's voice returns, soft yet commanding, carrying the final truth. You were born to rise, not to stay grounded by fear or by the opinions of those who never tried. The sky is waiting. The only question is, will you leap? Because in the end, it's not about being ready. It's about remembering who you were meant to be all along. This is the story of Eddie, a young eagle who grew up believing he was a chicken. A story not just about flight, but about awakening. About the moment we stop believing the lies that hold us down and remember the truth of who we are. It's a journey through fear, faith, and freedom. A reflection of your own untapped potential. Because sometimes, the only thing standing between you and the sky is the story you've been telling yourself. So before we begin, ask yourself this. What if you were never meant to walk with the flock, but to soar above the clouds?